all those who remember Manute Bol, kind of hard to miss the guy. 7'7", 82-pound center for the Washington Bullets. He was not 82 pounds, but he was very, very lanky.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you just call him lanky?
He was the type of guy, like, if you needed to make a human bridge, you can just reach him out and walk over him to do it. But he played for the Washington Bullets. I remember Ben Mankiewicz rehashing some great NBA hardwood classics, which puts most of us to sleep. But he had different moves. He was a celebrity for his time because he was, again, 7 feet tall, 7 inches.
Yes.
But Manute Bol is back. But not necessarily him, his son, Bol Bol. Trying to say this with a straight face. His son, Bol Bol, is a 6'11", 15-year-old powerhouse of a high school basketball player. Let's take a look at what his moves are. Love the Statue of Liberty.
Like, it just doesn't look fair. I feel bad for the guys that are trying to mark him, for one. So Bol Bol with Bol Bols and Bonobos. It's going to be the new tongue twister. Peter Piper's now been kicked out of his original rhyme saying. Peter Piper picked
fired Peter Piper?
Peter Piper picked the peck of pickled peppers. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Bol Bol, Bol Bol, Bol Bol, Bol Bol. So what's interesting about his, I guess, mixtape is that he's got handles for a guy who's 6'11".
And he can jump. He looks like he was hitting threes.
Well,
no problem.
When you're 6'11", well, yes, he has a good shot. He doesn't have like a fundamentally sound shot. I can tell you that even looking at when Steph Curry was in high school, Derrick Rose, all the smaller point guards had much better looking shots, but they also weren't 6'11". Shaq's son has a better shot than Bol Bol does. He shoots weird down here for a guy who's he's shooting as if he was 6'5".
Yeah.
When he's 6'11", he might grow even taller. Two things I need to point out. One being he might have the same problem as his father. If he grows to be 7 feet 7 inches tall, that's going to make him an interesting prospect.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't put on weight and fill out, he will get abused in this year's NBA.
Yeah.
There's no chance for him. I really don't believe it. In college, totally different story. He can maybe contend there.
Yeah.
But if he fills out, maybe starts eating more and can, like what Giannis Antetokounmpo has done this offseason, same type of lank, same type of sturdy as oak, thin as a rail.
But I know he doesn't have the fundamental talent of someone like Kevin Durant, right? But when you look at Kevin Durant, he's not exactly the biggest guy, but when he was driving to the net, especially on that example where he moves his ball around and then just drops it, that's Kevin Durant-esque, you know what I mean? That's the way Kevin Durant, but he can move his body in ways that no matter how strong you are, Kevin Durant he's obviously a lot stronger than he looks. But from what I understand from watching Kevin Durant, who I watch probably more than anyone else, is he's adaptive. When he takes those hits from bigger guys, he manages to move. His limbs are so long that he can bend his arm around them to drop it in the net.
It's a good comparison to make. I mean, again, totally different levels of talent, of course, because we have a 15-year-old here and we have a Kevin Durant.
And we have a 15-year-old here and we have Kevin Durant.
We have an MVP of the, technically by height-wise, yes, at that point it might be.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting point you make. Again, with the NBA, even the little shove, the player that won't get called in this year's NBA, today's version of the game, like he's going to go flying or snap in half. He's like a cracker.
Anyway, well, what I can see is that he's 15, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, he's got time on his side.
Eat some food.
Yeah, but some people, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that Kevin Durant did try to eat food as well. Some people's body types are a lot harder to adjust. Those legs, no matter how many steaks you're going to throw in, those things look like steaks.
Have you ever heard of cake diet?
I was going to say, have you ever heard of roids?
It's a cake diet, Francis.
Yeah, the cake diet.
You just eat cake.
Well, that's not exactly. It's a diet that people kind of laugh about. But when I used to play, some people used
to
give
cake diet?
No, some people used to give us donuts before games because it's fast-acting sugars. Fuel burns right off.
Donut diet, dummy.
Oh yes, it's not exactly the same thing.
Dumb. What do you guys think of Manute Bol's son, Bol Bol?
And put the sentence together.
Bol Bol, Bol Bol, Bulls.
And subscribe.
I meant Bol.